Let's just say he's worth, well,
He's not. He's a total loser. He's almost bankrupt.
well, okay. So you can say that, and that's fine. But
Can't say he's a loser.
But
Total loser.
But if you say he's bankrupt, you can say that can be your opinion. But the last 60 years, or the last 50 years, proves you wrong. Okay,
It doesn't. It proves me wrong.
15 years Apprentice was number one. How the hell are you that entertaining to be number one for 15 years, right? You know, financially, real estate properties, when you think about a real estate name brand, you think about one name. You don't think about 50 different names. You think about a guy that's been able to brand himself, you think about Trump. Now,
Patrick Bet-David decided to sit down with Cenk Uygur of the Young Turks, and right away it was clear this wasn't going to be a casual conversation. Now, Anna Kasparian has been making her own political journey lately, drifting away from the far left. And some people thought that might rub off on Cenk. It won't. Cenk knows exactly who butters his bread. His audience has been fed a very specific worldview for over a decade, and the moment he starts questioning that narrative, he loses them. He's too smart to make that mistake, which ironically might be the thing keeping him trapped. So, when Cenk walked onto Patrick's set, he came in swinging. Calling Patrick a loser, calling Trump a loser, essentially writing off the entire right-wing movement in one breath. Bold move. But that's where things got interesting, because Patrick wasn't rattled. He was ready. What followed was Patrick methodically picking apart every one of Cenk's arguments, and by the end of it, Cenk's loser label had a way of bouncing right back in his direction.
but the point is, he's had the girls, he's had the fame, he's had the properties, he's been to the parties, he's had the money. How the hell are you going to, like, does he want to be, if he's worth 2.5 billion right now,
He's not.
let's just say he's worth, well,
He's not. He's a total loser. He's almost bankrupt.
well, okay. So you can say that, and that's fine. But
Can't say he's a loser.
But
Total loser.
But if you say he's bankrupt, you can say that can be your opinion. But the last 60 years, or the last 50 years, proves you wrong. Okay,
It doesn't. It proves me wrong.
15 years Apprentice was number one. How the hell are you that entertaining to be number one for 15 years, right? You know, financially, real estate properties, when you think about a real estate name brand, you think about one name. You don't think about 50 different names. You think about a guy that's been able to brand himself, you think about Trump. Now, are you going to buy Trump's steak? Probably not. But you're going to buy...
Neither did anyone else.
Neither did... but the point is, he's had great victories. He's got kids that are doing well for themselves. He's got a daughter that, you know, has
So does Biden.
Yeah. That was a different angle you took. But where I'm going with this is, that's the part where I feel they can't stand the guy because they cannot control him. So for me, when I see... you know, what's going on with them wanting to get rid of this guy. And you're like, look, the big donors don't want to give him money. Look how much money he got. No, he can't raise any money. Nobody wants to give him any money. And look at this stuff. Yeah, but the people that are raising money are the people that are not being trusted because they're part of the establishment, left or right. A lot of people are saying. So that's why guys like RFK are getting some momentum. This is why guys like Vivek are getting some momentum. Because Vivek's got his own money. RFK's coming out doing some grassroots stuff. So what are your thoughts on this with Trump?
Yeah. So first of all, with Trump, look, the guy's got insatiable greed. So I don't buy that, oh, he's had enough. He's never had enough, okay? Number two, he's a natural born loser. He's lost at everything except two things. Obviously, he won the presidency in 2016. Yeah, he lost the popular vote, but then Democrats cry about that. And they should. The Electoral College is terrible. It's a disaster. But he won the Electoral College. He won it, right? So you give him that for sure. And he's great at marketing. Just blah, 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 Trump, 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 Trump. And Democrats don't get it. They're such knuckleheads. They're like, oh, if we have an accomplishment, we should whisper about it on NPR. No, you should scream at the top of your lungs like Trump does. But having said that, bankrupt 6 times, got clowned in 2020, and he's been crying about it ever since, like a little spoiled brat. Had to have his dad get him into the schools that he got into. He hides his grades from high school and college because he's a loser. He's a spoiled little baby. He blew $413 million from his dad, blew it all. Then he got $400 million from Apprentice. Why was that successful? Because of the producers. I know the producers on that show. They had to treat him like a baby. Hey, baby, come here. Baby, say this.
There's the same producers have done shows that flopped.
Yeah,
you know
no, but they've also the same producers who did other number one hits.
It is so hard to keep a number one hit show for 15 years.
But if you want to say Trump is entertaining, I don't.
Sure, the producers may have played a role in the show's success, but at the end of the day, Donald Trump is a star. And that's what really drove the ratings. Look, I'm not sitting here worshipping the guy. I don't think he's some kind of savior like certain people make him out to be, but I do believe he's the strongest candidate in this race. And when I see someone like Cenk calling Trump a loser, it's pretty clear to me what's actually going on. That's just pure envy dressed up as criticism. Am I wrong? Am I being too one-sided here? I genuinely want to know, but honestly I can't see it any other way. The cope is real and it couldn't be more obvious.
Disagree with you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's pretty good at marketing, right? And he says these terrible things, but people laugh, right? And I get it. And you know, his giant strength that people don't talk about, and no one in mainstream media acknowledges this, he doesn't look fake. I think he's a con man, and he's been a con man his whole life, but he looks authentic because he doesn't go off a prompter. And you think, well, that's a real guy. He's saying crazy crap that nobody else would say. And all the other politicians look like actors. They're robots. They come out like Pete Buttigieg came out from a factory. Everybody knows that, right? Gavin Newsom, but also DeSantis and McConnell. They're all robots. They come in, I will do this. I have been told by my donors this is great policy, right? And so he has the feelings of authenticity. But if you look at his records, like you said, great in real estate, he's awful in real estate. In Atlantic City, he built 3 casinos. Everybody said, you're going to cannibalize it, you moron, your own business. And you know, one of his top assistants says he just likes his name in lights. So he'd like to see Trump in Atlantic City, and he bankrupted all 3 because he sucks at business.
You think you're good in business?
Yes.
You think you're good in business?
Yes.
Cenk.
Yes.
Seriously?
100%.
Okay, so when's your birthday, by the way? What month's your birthday? Let me see.
March.
March 30, 21st. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're a Pisces.
Aries, beginning of Aries.
Oh, you made it to Aries.
Yes.
Interesting. My dad's in Aries. I get along with Aries. Okay. So he's on April 10th. So you barely are in Aries, though, by one day, right?
Beginning of the
Interesting.
of spring.
Okay.
You made the cut, man.
Yeah.
You made it.
So okay, bro, when you say that, you know, for me, I feel like if there's anybody that would be like a pro-Trump kind of confusing way, it would be you. Okay.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
I know this is like, this guy's lost his mind. You have no clue who the F I am. Are you crazy? There's no way. Because in business, you know, do you have a perfect record with business? No. Do I have a perfect record with business? No.
Nobody does. Yeah.
Nobody does. But, you know, has Trump taken it to certain levels that his dad didn't take it? Yeah, that's not easy to do. His dad wasn't as famous as this guy got. It's a very hard work to do that. There's a lot of kids that are spoiled kids from a rich father who don't do shit with the money, and they become crack addicts, and they become drug addicts, and they hire prostitutes all the time, and they go try to sell their laptops at different places, and they, you know, I'm not saying about anybody specific, but this happens
seems
every
like you're
once.
saying it about somebody specific.
This kind of stuff does happen every once in a while, right? There's stories like that you hear about. It's like, oh, okay, this guy's going to make it. This guy's not going to make it. So there is something about him. One can say John F. Kennedy became a president because of his father, Joseph Kennedy, because okay, fine. And Joseph Kennedy became successful because his dad had all this money from. Okay, fine. Okay. There's some of it that's got to go to the credit of the individual. Perfect. So if I listened to you and I didn't know who you were, okay, and I just came to America and I've heard about this Trump guy and I've heard about the Biden guy, and I'm listening to you, I would say that guy is angry at Trump for what reason? He's either envious of Trump, he's angry with him because he sounds personal. He doesn't sound like he's being reasonable. He sounds he's being personal when he's attacking Trump.
Patrick Bet David is absolutely right here, and here's why. Trump represents everything Cenk has ever wanted. And I'm not just talking about the money, the fame, or the lifestyle. Think about this. Cenk actually ran for political office and lost. Meanwhile, Trump walked into the most powerful position in the world with 0 prior political experience. That alone says everything. Yes, Cenk has built something real. The Young Turks has a solid following and he's done well as a businessman. Nobody is taking that away from him. But there's a massive gap between what Cenk has achieved and what Trump has achieved. And deep down, Cenk knows that. He ran a decent campaign, got his name out there, but couldn't close the deal. Trump became president of the United States. That's the part that stings. Trump didn't just beat Cenk in wealth or fame. He succeeded in the exact arena where Cenk tried and failed. So, when Cenk calls Trump a loser, you have to ask yourself, who's really the one coping here? The envy is written all over it, and Patrick is spot on for calling it out.
And I think he loses credibility a little bit for taking the angle that he does. Because you're coming from a place of saying this guy got this much money and he became rich because of this, and he's a loser, he's a this. The guy was on Oprah Winfrey, 1988. And Oprah Winfrey says, so, hey, you sound like somebody that's going to, you've seen this, you sound like somebody that's going to run for office one day. No. Well, do you have any plans? No, but if I ever did, I would win. Who the hell says that? That's like a Babe Ruth call. You know, when you say, I'm going to hit the home run, you point the finger and you hit it. His book crushed it. His show crushed it. He crushed it in New York going up against all these other guys. He's done good with women. He's done good with his kids. He became a president. I don't know, love him or hate him. I don't have a relationship with him. So there is not like I'm defending this guy. I'm doing it. We're in Florida because of DeSantis. We came here because all of a sudden DeSantis, I'm watching him market. I'm like, dude, you're not even out there doing your part marketing. Finally, he's getting to it, and now everybody's asking a question that they shouldn't be asking you, which is what? Why are you so down on the polls? Can you make a comeback? You should have never allowed these people to ask that question if you would have played offense earlier. But when you see a winner and complicated individual, a misunderstood individual, I don't know how many people you're going to put on the list as Trump in the history of America, by the way. Whether you love this guy or hate this guy, it's kind of tough to, demonize the guy's resume. And I know you like to do this, but it's kind of tough to do it.
Not remotely tough.
You think so?
So, Pat, look, I'm giving you nuanced answers. I'm telling you that he's anti-establishment in some ways, and that's part of his appeal. Right. I'm telling you he's good at marketing. And almost everything you're saying is he's good at marketing. He was good on TV. He was good at marketing his book. He went on Oprah. It's marketing.
No, you said he won in two things. And what I did is I showed his resume. That's more than two things. It's a bunch of different things that he wanted. That was my defense to you saying he only wanted two things, not the marketing side.
So, Pat, imagine if your dad gave you $413 million.
Which we don't know that's the number, but you're saying $413 million.
New York Times says this was $413
New York Times also said science.
New York Times.
I have to take the
New York
COVID
Times has also lied about me. I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, but his dad was enormously wealthy.
There's no question about it.
Enormous fortune, and which he lost.
413 by today's standards, or what was it back then? What was the actual?
14 million is the number you hear about.
No way. It's look. I forget. I think it's by today's standards, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, it couldn't have been 413.
But it's not 14 to 413. That's not how inflation works. So, but Pat, if they gave it to you, you'd probably be worth $4 billion by now.
I don't know about that.
Come on, it's such an enormous advantage.
Do you have kids? Cenk, do you have kids?
Yes.
What are you talking about, bro? Let me unpack this for you. So,
it's actually a pattern you see all the time. The children of highly successful people often struggle to find their own identity because the shadow their parents cast is just too large to step out of. We see it constantly in the world of professional sports. The kids of legendary athletes frequently go down destructive paths, almost as if the pressure of that legacy becomes too heavy to carry. But anyway, back to the main point. Watching Patrick completely dismantle Cenk's argument that Trump is a loser was something else. Out of every criticism you could possibly throw at Trump, you go with loser. That's the angle you choose. It just doesn't hold up, and Patrick made sure everyone in that room knew it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. What did you make of Patrick shutting Cenk down like that on the PBD podcast? Was Patrick right? Was Cenk out of line? Whatever side you're on, this was one of those conversations that's hard to ignore. Let me know what you think about the whole thing.